Ms. Lyle, from our investigation, was not the intended target. It does appear this homicide occurred as a result of an ongoing dispute our front seat passenger in that motor vehicle had with a co-worker that had been, going on for a little bit of time. And we do know that the suspect in this case did follow the victim's vehicle when she was riding in from the airport to 35 off-ramp on 75, where the suspect fired several shots at the vehicle, ultimately striking our victim and killing her.
Jermea Lyle of Centerville, Ohio, carried the spark of a vibrant spirit and the soul of a hopeless romantic. Raised by a devoted mother alongside 3 siblings, Jermea was imbued from a young age with the values and discipline she would need to achieve her dreams. The church played a central role in her life, not just as a place of worship, but as the setting where she met Jason Bates Jr., who would become her best friend and, over time, the love of her life. Their friendship, kindled over shared pews and hymns more than 13 years ago, blossomed into a deep, enduring love. In 2020, on Jason's 20th birthday, Jermea shared a heartfelt tribute to him on social media, reflecting on their journey from childhood friends to soulmates. "This guy who I met at church over 8 years ago has always had me crushing on him," she wrote. "He started off as my best friend, and since then, we've grown close, sharing everything, all that lovey best friend stuff. Yes, we may fall out from time to time, but no matter what, he always has a place in my heart. The way he makes me laugh, smile, gives me chills. I just love it. We literally are each other's other half, and I'm screaming happy birthday to the love of my life. I'm so grateful to have you in my life. You don't know how much I appreciate and adore you, but I love you, baby. I hope you have a wonderful day." A year after this declaration, their bond deepened further with the arrival of their daughter, Melanie Chanel Bates. Jermea embraced motherhood with open arms, her social media pages blossoming with photos and videos that showcased her profound love for Melanie. She dreamed of giving her daughter the world, her aspirations as boundless as her affection. While Jermea pursued a career in the medical field, aspiring to become a veterinarian, the birth of Melanie meant a pause in her studies at the University of Toledo. Yet she was undeterred, planning to resume her academic and professional pursuits as Melanie began preschool. However, fate had a tragic twist in store. Just as Jermea was poised to step back into her career and educational goals, her life was abruptly and brutally cut short. She was shot in a senseless act of violence after Jason, in a simple act of kindness, gave a ride to a friend. Welcome to the American Crime Femicide channel. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for future uploads. In a tragic unfolding of events that began as a simple act of transportation, Lyle's life was cut devastatingly short. Jason, her boyfriend and a rideshare driver, had agreed to pick up a passenger unexpectedly, a friend rather than a stranger, from the airport on the fateful day of September 21st. Jermea, along with her 4-year-old daughter, accompanied him, unaware of the dire consequences that would follow. The journey from the airport took a perilous turn when an unknown man began tailing their vehicle. This sinister pursuit continued until they reached the off-ramp from Interstate 75 to US 35, where the stalker fired a shot into Jason's car. The bullet struck Jermea as she sat next to her daughter. In a desperate bid to save her, Jason rushed her to the hospital, but tragically, Jermea succumbed to her injuries before they could get there.
About 7 o'clock in the morning, we had a guy that was driving back to Dayton, Ohio from the Dayton International Airport. He was kind of like giving a ride, so to speak, like a private, drive for pay type thing. He was giving a ride to an employee from a business by the airport back to Dayton, Ohio. In the backseat of his car, he had his girlfriend, who was our victim in this case. She was 26 years of age, and they had their 4-year-old daughter also in the backseat of the motor vehicle. They were traveling on southbound 75. As you can see on the map here, they were coming this way, and they took Route 35 off-ramp to 35 westbound. As he took the off-ramp, he heard what he thought to be a pop, which we know now was one gunshot being fired out of the motor vehicle. After the gunshot went off, he began to hear his girlfriend screaming that she had been shot, and she was shot and passed away inside the motor vehicle with her 4-year-old daughter in the back seat with her. We were able to go back out, and thanks to the work of patrol crews, we shut down the ramp to 35 westbound off 75. We were able to find one shell casing right here on the off ramp on like the right berm. We found one shell casing there that was a fresh shell casing that we believe was used in this murder. One round was fired, struck our victim's vehicle through the back trunk. The round penetrated to the back seat where it struck our victim and killed her. So that's information we have at this time. We have very little to go on. We have pulled video from ODOT and things like that. We have camera coverage kind of covering here on I-75 southbound. What we don't know is maybe did some vehicles get on this ramp here where there's no camera coverage onto 35 westbound from northbound 75. The driver of the vehicle did recall seeing, after the noise, what he describes to be a blue Chevrolet Impala and another white vehicle behind him. And those vehicles exited onto Germantown Avenue, Germantown Street right there, as he continued on westbound and eventually stopped because of the injuries. The victim, like I mentioned, was taken to Miami Valley Hospital where she passed away from her gunshot wound. She was shot one time.
So did he stop then a little further up, maybe towards James H. McGee?
He did.
Did he turn around and go to the hospital himself, or did he call medics and they came and picked him?
He drove her to the hospital immediately.
Okay, so he turned around at James H. McGee and then went back to the
Correct.
hospital.
Yes.
And that's when you guys were called.
Yeah, we were called to the hospital initially, and we were able to find the crime scene at the 35 off ramp from 75.
So does he believe it to be totally random then, or does he?
He has no idea why this happened. He reported no instance of like road rage, so to speak. So we don't really know why this car was fired upon.
Not even any idea if it was like accidentally cut the person off or something.
I'm sorry?
Not even an idea if he like cut the person off on accident.
Yeah, there's no indication of that whatsoever. So we don't know. Why the car was shot. We don't know maybe if the blue and the white vehicle had got on the off-ramp behind him from I-75 northbound, and maybe they were exchanging shots, and the one round struck our vehicle. We don't really know, but that's why we're asking for the community's help. If you know anything, please give us a call. Please call Crime Stoppers. This lady lost her life in front of her little child, and it's just a tragedy that we have to try to at least bring some sort of justice and resolution to this.
And I mean, as if it's not tragic enough, the 4-year-old being in the vehicle is just completely awful. I mean,
Yeah.
how do they even move forward now after seeing that?
I mean, I know in Montgomery County, they have excellent victim services. Care House of Dayton, they provide great services, but I don't know, as a 4-year-old at that age, right, you kind of know what's going on to somewhat and to experience it. I don't know how you ever really totally get over that, but I think it could be a help if we, for the family, for the child, for our victim's mother, for her boyfriend, to try to bring some sort of closure. I'm sure, somebody knows something, either like why this shot was fired. Was it accidental? Were they road rage? Were they cut off somehow and fired around, recklessly, not knowing they were going to kill somebody in the back seat, but they did. So I think the information is really needed to solve this case, and please give us a call if you can.
Initially, the incident was thought to be a case of road rage, but the investigation soon revealed a more complex backdrop. The passenger Jason had picked up was embroiled in a financial dispute with a coworker, a dispute that tragically escalated beyond their own altercation. 4 days after the shooting, the police arrested 23-year-old Noah Corbitt, connecting him to the fatal confrontation.
Lyle, from our investigation, was not the intended target. It does appear this homicide occurred as a result of an ongoing dispute our front seat passenger in that motor vehicle had with a co-worker that had been, going on for a little bit of time. And we do know that the suspect in this case did follow the victim's vehicle when she was riding in from the airport to 35 off-ramp on 75, where the suspect fired several shots at the vehicle, ultimately striking our victim and killing her. So I'll take a few questions on the case. As we mentioned earlier, it's being charged either later today or tomorrow morning. And we can't provide the name. I can let you know that our suspect in this case is 23 years of age, and he is from Dayton, Ohio.
Earlier, you didn't see any road rage incidents, so this person was kind of hanging back a little bit?
Correct. Thanks to the flock cameras, we were able to identify that the suspect vehicle, which was indeed a blue Impala, which we recovered. We also recovered the firearm used in this case. We do know that vehicle was traveling, I'd probably say about 10 seconds or so behind our victim's vehicle as it left the area of the airport and traveling into the city of Dayton on 75. No road rage, just kind of like driving behind the victim's vehicle.
And then the front seat passenger was this person, we believe, intended target, but he fired from behind the car. I mean, he never pulled up beside it or anything like that, right?
Correct. Yeah, the rounds were fired from the rear of the victim's vehicle.
The arrest of Noah brought a grim sense of relief to the community and those who loved Jermea. Yet, the stark reality that a dispute over a minor sum of money could escalate to such violence is a harrowing testament to the fragility of life. Jermea was utterly innocent, a bystander in a conflict she had no part in, with her child by her side, a child who will now grow up without her mother. This heinous act, born from a trivial disagreement, robbed a vibrant young mother of her future, leaving a family to mourn a life full of potential that will never be fulfilled. As Jermea's loved ones prepare for her burial, let us keep her family, friends, and especially her daughter in our thoughts and prayers. May Jermea Lyle rest in peace, and may those affected by this tragedy find some measure of solace in justice being served.